to prove they have conquered their demons in hostile settings like Lane Stadium. Notre Dame's first visit to Virginia Tech has been long awaited here. A festive scene as Frank Beamer is saluted with a statue. These home underdog Hokies are hungry for one of the biggest home wins ever. Ryan WIllis endured misery and transferred here for nights like this. Can Tech wreck the undefeated Irish drive toward the playoff? Kelly's crew believes they can conquer the lane chaos. And savvy new QB Ian Book says he's prepared his whole life for these opportunities. And Lane Stadium striped and hyped on a very special evening. Notre Dame has finally made its way to Blacksburg, Virginia. Welcome to Saturday Night Football, presented by Wells Fargo. And tonight's long-awaited game between the undefeated Fighting Irish of Notre Dame and the 24th ranked Hokies of Virginia Tech. Hard to overstate how long they've waited for this game. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Maria Taylor will join us here. Notre Dame is here, and they've been talking about this game for years. Finally, it's here.
Well, it takes me back to 11 months ago. Last November, there was a lot of buildup and a lot of hype, and it was Notre Dame in Miami, and Notre Dame went on the road, and they were top 5 in the country, and we were all thinking they had a legitimate shot at the playoff, and they imploded. The atmosphere in the scene was too much. Here they are 11 months later, Lane Stadium, another tough environment. How are they going to do?
It's a test of whether or not Brian Kelly's elaborate offseason plan to get his team ready for chaos has worked. He even brought in this guy, Jocko Willink. That's a fierce face. He got up in the faces of the Notre Dame players. They were trained to deal with chaos, Kirk, to deal with all kinds of unexpected things. We'll see if they learned the lesson tonight.
Yeah, and I think one thing they're going to be able to rely on is their quarterback, Ian Book. These last 2 weeks, Notre Dame has a rhythm now back in their offense. He has done a great job of making quick decisions, giving the ball out to the playmakers and letting them do the work. That's really what they needed. They needed a distributor. And what I like about it is he's throwing the ball with accuracy, and he's giving his receivers and backs a chance. Here, the ball's out quickly, back shoulder fade, receiver makes a play. Here, recognizing a couple linebackers out of position, opens up the middle. See the accuracy? Look at the yards after the catch. Over 20 yards because of that accurate throw. And this is the thing that I think will be a key tonight. His ability to improvise. When things break down, do not underestimate how athletic he is and how he does a good job of maneuvering, working the pocket, and keeping his eyes downfield. And these receivers, after just 2 games, they've really found a pattern of finding, when he takes off, how to find that open spot in zone or break away from man-to-man.
Get Dexter Williams back to run the ball against the lunch pail defense that was humiliated in that shock loss to Old Dominion, but they got their mojo back at Duke last week.
Yeah, this is a young defense. You know, one week you see them and they're playing lights out against Florida State. The next week, as you said, Old Dominion, they look flat and almost disinterested in playing. You're right, last week against Duke, different deal. Here's the thing, they're 4th in the nation defending the run. And in this atmosphere, you got to feel pretty good there. How will they do against the pass? That's been the area that's been their Achilles heel. They better put pressure on Ian Book and not leave those young corners alone against the Notre Dame receivers.
Meanwhile, the Irish pack a nasty defense. Few teams in the country better at pressuring the passer. Notre Dame's got star players at all levels of the defense.
Yeah, I think that's the difference, really, when you watch Notre Dame this year versus some of the other teams that Brian Kelly's had. Ryan WIllis is a great story, and I can't wait to watch him throw. They say he's got one of the biggest arms they've had in Blacksburg in a long time, but it's not about WIllis. It's about the offensive line. Will they give him time against, as we said, the most improved area of the Notre Dame defense, their ability to get after the quarterback?
Lane Stadium, place unlike any other on a college football Saturday night, lit up with cell phones, striped in the school colors, and they're about to jump up and down and go ballistic. And here come the Irish into this cauldron of chaos. Maria Taylor's with Brian Kelly.
Thanks, Chris. All right, Coach, you've been preparing your team for chaos and environments like this. What will it take to maintain poise in this game?
Well, they've got to get in the right zone, which I think they understand the mental game of it. But again, it comes down to they've got to have a great attention to detail, stay focused, and again, it's one play at a time. You know, and there's going to be some good plays made by Virginia Tech. Just stay in the moment, one play at a time.
All right, what will it take for Ian Book to make good plays one play at a time here tonight?
Well, we got to support him. You got to protect him first. So obviously do a good job there, and then support him. We're going to have to make some plays down the field, and he's really good at distributing the football.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Jordan Stout to boot it away. Hokies have had excellent kickoff coverage throughout the season. Michael Young is deep for the Irish at the goal line. Enjoy this one from Lane Stadium tonight. And Stout drives it almost into the crowd. It's a pumped up kicker. So here comes Ian Book, Kirk. It's his 4th career start, 3rd this year.
Yeah, I really enjoyed watching him play these last couple of weeks. The sophomore, we talked about it in the open. He's kind of making the layups, the easy throws. He needs to do that tonight. Continue to be decisive and accurate. Such an important part of what we've seen from him. And then using his feet to improvise against Bud Foster's defense that more than likely in this atmosphere with this crowd, they're going to turn up some pressure and come after him. He's got to be able to keep some plays alive like he's done the last 2 weeks and make throws.
Dexter Williams suspended the first 4 games. Monster game in the win over Stanford is the back. But Book looking to throw, fires across the middle, catch made, and immediately hit. Miles Boykin well covered. Mustafer is the leader. We talked about Rulin stepping in for Bars at left guard.
The leader in the middle there, Mustafer, the center, who's playing a lot of big games. The bigger receivers, Claypool 83, Boykin 81, both have great size. Remember, Old Dominion with bigger receivers gave this Virginia Tech secondary fits a couple weeks ago.
Secondary that's shorthanded. Divine Diablo, their safety, out with a hamstring injury tonight. Book's got it, pitches it across the middle, and the catch is made again by Boykin. It's a first down. Bud Foster had never had a less experienced defense coming into the season. The bell cow was number 8, Ricky Walker.
Yeah, Walker and Hewitt in the middle, very physical. Ashby, the leader, 23, the linebacker, and Reggie Floyd in the back end.
At 18 yards in that play, now they pitch it out wide, and another attempt to get the ball to the perimeter quickly, and that's Chase Claypool. Good gain on first down.
There's no shortage of athletes in the Virginia Tech secondary. It's just lack of experience. I mean, you lost most of your secondary from a year ago. The linebackers, all these guys are new, so it's not necessarily about ability. It's just where are their eyes? Are they playing with great discipline? That's the big thing that they have to do tonight.
Play action again. Book shows his elusiveness, but he cannot escape the grasp of Jarrett Hewitt. There's a flag down. Did he grab the mask?
I think he did. I think he was in great position there getting off of Rulin's block, but I think his right hand got up into the face of Book.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 55. Defense.
You know, the environment can be a challenge for the defense as well. They can get too hyped up, make mistakes like this.
Yeah, and there he gets the bottom of the face mask, helps pull down Book. By the way, if he doesn't do that, you're looking at a 3rd and long, and Virginia Tech having a chance to get off the field. Instead, the 15-yard penalty, they're across midfield, and Notre Dame has a nice drive going.
Book again from the pocket, again using the cushion. This is Claypool who makes the catch. Another first down. Caleb Farley drove him out.
Boy, they are moving the ball around. You know what I'm saying? It's 3 different receivers already with catches. You've got backs involved. I mean, this is such a different feel of a Notre Dame offense. The urgency and the rhythm to it is very, very unique. We haven't seen it a long time from Notre Dame.
Involves all the playmakers, really has energized things, and now Book looking for the end zone, flips it short. Claypool is hit hard at the 5-yard line. Knocked down there by Dylan Rivers.
And when you attack the way they're attacking, what it does is it takes this defense that was coming out because of the crowd, it gets them on their heels, and now the pass rush isn't as intense, and it allows receivers like Claypool to get underneath. No pass rush at all. 5 receivers out, and eventually he finds his man.
2nd and 4. Book 6 for 6 on this opening drive. Fires near side, catch made, Mack knocked down. That's an excellent defensive play by Tyree Rogers, one of those DBs asked to step up tonight.
He stepped up, all right. That's a big play out in space. Again, love how Ian Book just gets that ball out quickly to the very athletic tight end Mack. and Mack doesn't even have a chance to turn the corner because of the quickness there by Rodgers.
3rd and 1. Williams should have first down yardage. Spot.
That'd
Be close as the nose of the ball at the 1. Brock Wright, the tight end, is lined up at fullback in front of Williams.
Remember, Book has great feet for a bootleg or a naked. Or a sneak.
And he looks like he's got it with the sneak. 1st and goal, Notre Dame. Not a big guy, 6 foot tall, about 200 pounds. But he kind of wormed his way. He found a little gap in there.
Yeah, you got a little push also from Brock Wright, helping, trying to push him from behind. See that all the time in college football.
There's a sandwich in the quarter.
Oh, yeah. And I love Ian Book. I love watching this kid play. Just a gym rat approach, studies film relentlessly to be prepared, and just playing with a swagger, a confidence about himself. And I think the team feeds off it.
They shift all those big bodies to the right. Williams muscles in, and Notre Dame marches it 74 yards in 11 plays. It's a quiet lane a bit.
If you're a Notre Dame fan, it's exactly what you wanted to see. 12 plays, 75 yards, a little over 5.5 minutes, and a touchdown. And Ian Book, the mojo continues. 7 of 7 on that initial drive for the Fighting Irish.
Book is the holder for Justin Yoon's PAT attempt. Notre Dame 94 points in the last 2 games. The first 3 games, all at home, they didn't exceed 24 points. Brandon Wimbush was the quarterback then. 13-3 as a starter, but you can see why Kelly made the move. Irish muscle in front. First possession for Ryan WIllis and the Hokies coming up. Irish a long touchdown march in their first possession. 7-0 lead. Welcome back to your Dr. Pepper Championship Drive game of the week. Notre Dame's first ever visit to Lane Stadium. All the pandemonium of enter Sandman, the energy handled beautifully by Ian Book. 7 for 7, 58 yards. Had that quarterback sneak on 4th down. And Williams finished the job. Terrius Wheatley, son of Tyrone, has a chance to receive the kick for Jonathan Dorr at the 9. And Wheatley will be stacked up just across the 20. So here's the strong arm junior from Kansas, Ryan WIllis.
6'4", 223 pounds, and he does have the experience from the 10 starts at Kansas. And you know, to me, you got to adjust to the speed and the complexity of this Notre Dame defense, kind of settle into the game. Also, I think he's got an ability to make throws downfield, and he's got to be able to exploit when he gets the matchups that he wants. He's got to be able to find them, recognize them, and then make the throws. He's got some very talented receivers.
Really shared his story of coming back from all the despair of all those losses and all that punishment he took at Kansas and landing here. Stephen Peoples is the back. Willis rolls that way, is pressured, and now takes a downfield shot and shot it over the head of Sean Savoy. A little early adrenaline from the quarterback. Jalen Elliott, Virginia native, was in coverage.
Let's keep an eye on the left tackle. True freshman against these talented pass rushers. Darisaw, 77, and they're the receivers. And you see the running back McLeese. You'll see Peoples in there as well. Hazelton, Grimsley, Kuma, Keene. These guys can make plays.
Hazelton, a close buddy of Willis. They each sat out last year as transfers. He's had back-to-back 100-yard receiving games, number 14. Savoy in motion, cuts it back, and on the end around, they pick up about 4. Boy, this Irish defense has been just outstanding. We've talked about Jerry Tillery, 7 sacks, co-leader in the nation. Coney and Tranquil, outstanding linebacker.
Great tandem at linebacker. Okwara, another guy 42 to watch, especially in these situations on 3rd down. Julian Love, the best cover man for this team, one of the best cover corners in all of college football. And we already saw Jalen Elliott's come a long way from last year, playing with a lot more confidence.
Empty backfield. Hokies need 6. Here comes the rush. Willis gets it out. It's complete, but not a first down as Tavon Coney just smacks even Peoples right there, and the Hokies go 3 and out.
He has worked so hard on his coverage skills. And you know, when you can rush the quarterback as quickly as Notre Dame can, you've got to get the ball out in a hurry, and that's exactly what they decide to do. They get it out in a hurry, and look at Konya, who's known as a guy who's physical. He's up to 240. He's very instinctive as a stopping the run, but that time out in coverage.
The lefty from Australia, Kirk. Oscar Bramber punts it deep. Chris Fink makes a fair catch. I'm happy we have an Aussie punter in the game.
Life is good.
Can Bud Foster make some adjustments? Book and the Irish offense back to work, up 7. The drive by Notre Dame, so impressive. And Book takes over after the 3 and out by Virginia Tech. 7 for 7 so far. Oh, high percentage type throws. Fake to Williams, and Book steps up. It's a downfield shot, and Fink is running free. Chris Fink makes a cut and is knocked down in the red zone. Book can do no wrong so far.
He's feeling it. You know, his first start, they threw the ball on 1st and 10 16 times, and he hit 12 of them. The reason that's important, you get favorable matchups. You get a very quick receiver in Fink up against a safety that's a mismatch because they're anticipating the tendency to be run. They're overcommitted to the line of scrimmage. You get the matchup, time to throw, and Book has the accuracy.
56 yards for the senior from Dayton, and now the first incompletion and miscommunication on the far side.
What's going on here? I mean, incompletion.
There's some
unacceptable.
Chick-fil-A impact players tonight, Kurt.
Yeah, let's start with Dexter Williams in the backfield. Great to see him back last week. Explosive runner. Miles Boykin, they'll look for him, especially in this area. Ricky Walker's got to make some plays on the inside, and Caleb Farley better hold up one-on-one the rest of those corners for the Hokie secondary.
Williams, who raced 45 yards for a touchdown on the first touch of the season against Stanford, then was just the overall workhorse in that game. In it for 161.
Missed those first 4 games, suspended, and kind of went down to the scout team during camp the first 2 weeks. Had to earn his way back, did just that very thing, and had that big game last week. First game back.
3rd and 7. Book fires over the head of Boykin. Incomplete. He's knocked down after the throw, and Tech's defense does hold after the big play.
As the ball was snapped, you could see that's the matchup he wants. Boykin, it's got that size, and look where he throws the ball. That's intentionally done. He missed it, but he missed it high. He'll go back to that with Boykin at 6'4", and he'll try to make that throw again against Quillen, and I promise you he'll make it.
Justin Yoon, who's closing into the all-time Notre Dame scoring record, which Alan Pinkett set 33 years ago, tries to get 3 points closer to the mark from 31 yards. And he drives it through. The senior gives Notre Dame a double-digit lead midway first quarter here at Lane Stadium. He was just vibrating with excitement when we talked to him yesterday. He was just sacked so often, beaten up, thrown into the lineup as a true freshman, Kansas. And took his lumps and came out the other night. He was recruited by 2 guys with Notre Dame connections, Charlie Weiss and Ron Powlis, but they got fired. And then his sister Lauren also walked on at Oklahoma, went to a couple of Final Fours. And there's a long throw. You can see the arm strike, and that's the guy he has a special connection with, Damon Hazelton.
Yeah, Hazelton, as you mentioned, he and Willis sitting out, getting a chance to work together on the scout team, and there's a rhythm and a confidence there. When you throw it with a certain receiver, a lot of times you just have an ability to get into rhythm. That's the guy you want to look early in this game to.
McLeese takes the football, follows his blockers nicely, and is knocked down after about a 9-yard gain.
And follows the center Hoyt around, and you know they'll use McLeese and Peoples mainly in that backfield. I think they complement each other very well. McLeese is sudden and quick, 33. Peoples a little bit more physical. The senior, 225 pounds. McLeese will stay in the game.
Running game was smothered by Duke. Blue Devils crowded the line. Hokie backs couldn't get much going. There's a long throw to the edge, and Trey Turner is a very talented true freshman, makes his 4th catch of the season, and it's a first down.
I said this when we had him week 1 against Florida State. Justin Fuente is building this program up. Last year he had Cam Phillips and the true freshman Sean Savoy. Now he's got some depth out at wide receiver. This freshman's really helping out Turner.
And now Willis fires far side, gets about 5 yards of that back. It's a completion to Hazelton again, his third catch. You know this offensive line, Kirk's going to be keyed up. The Irish, you see them on tape, they are disruptive. They are dynamic getting after the quarterback, invading the backfield. It's a serious challenge for any offensive line. 2nd and 14. WIllis keeps it and pops it across the middle. He had Wheatley open and he just missed him.
Yeah, that's who he was, just trying to sneak him out of the backfield, trying to get the linebackers out of position, and had a chance. Bill Law 22 trying to come over there late, but if he leads him over the middle of the field, there's nobody there. Instead, just miscommunication. He kind of expected Wheatley to stay outside, but if he throws that, as I said, over more to the middle of the field, there's nobody left for the Notre Dame defense. Wheatley probably goes to the end zone.
They're in fringe field goal range. They need 14 on 3rd down. Hazelton's in the slot to the left. WIllis is looking in that direction. Can't afford to take a sack here, and now he'll scramble and he'll power his way for a short gain inside the 25 before Coney stopped him, and here comes a field goal attempt.
And you better get that ball out in a hurry, as you said, Chris, against this Notre Dame defensive line on 3rd down, because they're going to turn loose some athletes, and he was able to pick up some yards there. But they had some big plays. They had the touchdown pulled back, but still just trying to settle for 3.
Ryan Johnson is a sophomore who takes over for the 4-year starter Joey Sly, and this from 40 yards. And he drives it through. So Virginia Tech on the board. They drive it 53 yards in 13 plays and cut the Irish lead to 7. Final minute of the first quarter. 63-3 Tigers over Wake Forest. Ouch. Deep boot by Jordan Stout. Again, may not see many kickoff returns tonight. Bud Foster would like to have Tim Settle, Stroman, a few other guys in uniform if he could. Notre Dame might notice. Williams has a lot of room and gets the edge, and just a easy run, untouched almost, down near the 40.
Well, they lost the edge of their defense. You see this movement right here on the outside by Gaines, and watch how once he moves to the inside, there's just nobody out there. Ricky Walker kind of on a stunt there, trying to get out there. That's a tough ask for a defensive tackle. Notre Dame calls the right play at the right time.
Now it's play action, and Book takes another downfield shot, and Fink was wide open again, overshot him.
Yeah, they're going to continue to go after that matchup, because Fink against Rogers is a mismatch, and especially on 1st and 10. He's got the cushion, little hesitation, goes right by him. Man, and that, I can't believe he's out there, but you can't do it all defensively, and Book would love to have that one back. By the way, 1st and 10 is where Ian Book likes to throw the football. He's been incredibly successful these last 3 weeks doing that.
Sure has. Doesn't every quarterback love to throw the football on 1st and 10?
Well, so he was 20 of 28 combined against Wake Forest, and again last week what he was able to do. And if you look tonight, he's already 6 of 8. So Brian Kelly, and I don't blame him. You see the matchup he's getting against Rogers. Just keep going back to it until Bud Foster makes an adjustment.
It'll be 3rd and 2 when we come back to begin quarter number 2. The Irish leading 10-3. There's more bad news for already depleted Tech secondary. It's Caleb Farley, their redshirt freshman corner, fastest guy on the team. Maria reporting he's got a gimpy ankle. You can see he can barely put weight on it. And now they go right to work attacking that secondary. Miles Boykin makes the catch in front of the true freshman Waller.
Yeah, that's great accuracy. Throws it over top of the head of Waller, who's in zone, trying to get underneath of that throw. But again, the rhythm, the timing, great job by Ian Book throwing there to the big, tall Miles Boykin.
He had missed his last 3 after starting 8 for 8. Now Book downfield again. Boykin got tied up in traffic and couldn't get there. Javon Quillen, as the backups are all over at Tech secondary tonight at the moment.
And a lot of them are just inexperienced players. I mean, Quillen's a junior who's probably improved the most in the secondary. And you mentioned
special teams guy.
Yeah, but he's improved a lot as a corner. He's going to get some action, obviously, tonight with that injury to Farley.
Book rolls and flips it short. And knocked down after a short gain is Mack by Rodgers.
Yeah, that's more of Rodgers' play. Tyree Rodgers as a safety, that's more of what you'd like to see him do. Go up against the tight end and have to be able to make a tackle against a big, tall tight end, who's, by the way, a pretty good athlete. But when you leave him one-on-one against Chris Fink, he's going to lose that battle more often than not.
Irish need 6 on this 3rd down. Tony Jones is the back. Fink comes in motion now to the slot. And Book flushed. Tries to create on the move, and he'll be knocked out of bounds short of the marker. Ricky Walker, the big man, pursued him, and it's 4th down.
See, this time Bud Foster he's just kind of mixing up the looks, doing anything he can to try to get Ian Book out of this rhythm. So instead of playing man-to-man and bringing pressure, that time rushes 4, plays zone.
Would you call it smoke and mirrors? He's kind of grasping.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best defensive minds in the game, and he's only doing what he can do with what he has. But he's kind of picking his spots to play man and when to play zone. That time dials up the zone and does a good job of making Book hold on to the ball.
Tyler Newsome, the Irish 4th-year starting punter, to boot it away. C.J. Carroll standing at his 8, and it's mishandled. And now Newsome running around, and he'll be dropped back at the 45. A special teams gaff gives the Hokies life.
Well, this is just a bad snap. Punter never has a chance. He tries to short hop it, and then by the time he gets the football, you can clearly see all the Hokies are all over him.
Kind of deer in the headlights. Maybe you should try to kick the ball somewhere.
Something.
He's not going to run for a 1st down.
I think just the snap itself being so low by Shannon surprised him, and his eyes started to go up, and he saw all those jerseys coming towards him. Let's see after a sudden change what Virginia Tech can do here.
Points. And WIllis, big pump fake. And tries to take a shot downfield, looking for his favorite guy, Hazelton, but excellent coverage by Troy Pride Jr.
Yeah, Troy Pride, I think, is probably the most improved defensive back that they have. Watch 5, and he senses that little hesitation, that little stutter and go. Great thing he did is right away he's thinking about him getting deep. So he turns his head, looks at the quarterback, and anticipates the throw, and easily is in position and phase and knocks it away.
Irish rush 4. WIllis has time and delivers into the zone, slipping after the catch was Savoy. Get a small chunk of the yardage back. It'll be 3rd down and about 15.
Well-designed play there by Justin Fuente, using the back. Stephen Peoples to take Coney out to the outside and really opened up the middle of the field. And I tell you, when he puts his foot in the ground and he's one hitch and throws, not only with a lot of velocity, but typically pretty accurate.
Savoy in motion. They fake the backwards pass, and Peoples tries to hit a crease, but flying up was Drew Tranquil, who's playing with a cast on that hand. He had a fractured bone in his hand against Stanford. That's a quality tackle.
Yeah, he's up tight, showing blitz, and then kind of settles. And then the center, Hoyt, who's had a rough night, tries to pick him up, but no chance. Even with that cast, Tranquil is, you know, he went from being a safety to a rover. Now a linebacker makes the play.
So again, Brian Johnson on to kick a field goal, and he's got a leg, booms it way up in the net from 43, and the Hokies cash in the special teams miscue for 3, cut the lead to 4. When you become the quarterback at Notre Dame, you become a celebrity in this sport, and a strong start for Book. Defense, a good job as the Tech team sort of self-destructed after they got down in scoring position with the false start and the sack. So the lead still 4. And Young will let this one sail way over the end line. And the Irish give it to Dexter Williams, and the Hokies swarm him. They strung it out, and Ricky Walker again from the middle got out there for the edge.
Now this is Virginia Tech defense, slanting, angling, and getting off of blocks. This is what you like to see. They also are getting pressure. They bring Ladler. You can see also 21 Reggie Floyd getting up in there. That's why you see Notre Dame throwing on 1st and 10. Virginia Tech being very aggressive on early downs, and I think Book is going to go back to doing that because of the one-on-one chances.
Book backpedals in the pocket and delivers a strike. Catch made across the middle by Himmett, and it's going to be 3rd and short. Big dude sandwiched, but held on.
They've got 3 or 4 really good-looking tight ends at Notre Dame with good size, great tradition of having tremendous NFL quality tight ends. It's a big third down here for both teams.
That's got high pain threshold. He's been dealing with a high ankle sprain, playing through it. Tony Jones is the back on 3rd and 5. They fake it to him and flip it to Claypool, who's got a couple blockers, and he's got a first down across the 35.
It's the beauty of having size at wide receiver. Get those tight ends out in front, and Claypool's basically like a tight end himself. It's 6'4", almost 6'5", and about 230 pounds. He can do a lot of damage after the catch.
The Canadian is the special teams gunner.
This is the guy that they were hitting early on 1st and 10.
And it's going to be a play action. Grover is intercepted, picked off by Reggie Floyd. And Floyd, with the first turnover of the game, sets Tech up in Notre Dame territory.
I think this is one of the first mistakes we've seen Ian Book make in the last 3 weeks. He never sees Reggie Floyd, who's down almost like a linebacker, kind of sneaking down, and I don't think he ever saw him. He was so locked in on making that throw that I don't even think he took into consideration that Floyd would be there. And it's one of the first, as I said, first mistakes that Ian Book has made in 3 starts.
ACC defensive back of the week last week, and he had a lot of the turf monster got him because he had a lot of room on that return. Tech at the 42. WIllis looking to throw downfield. Savoy is there, and it's broken up. Had a chance. Elliott was defending him. They continue to take shots downfield.
Right, I don't blame him. Again, much like we saw on the other side with Notre Dame trying to get the ball to Chris Fink, this time it's Savoy. And if the ball is led in front of him, it's probably a touchdown for Savoy, but he has to come back to the ball, which allows Elliott to go up there with his size and knock the ball away from the shorter Savoy, who's only 5'9".
Terrific play by Elliott, whose dad Anthony played here at Virginia Tech. His parents, in fact, met as students at Tech. Peoples makes a cut in the clear, breaks a tackle, still running, and Tech will be down at the 1-yard line. Finally, the Tech running game produces a big play, 41 yards.
Watch this block by the center right there on Tranquil. He cuts behind that, and then a poor effort there by the safety Elliott. Tremendous block downfield by the receivers. Looked like that might have been Phil Patterson. He's well short of the goal line. But I love to see receivers 30 yards downfield trying to help a running back out. That time it was Phil Patterson. Almost got him all the way to the end zone.
Good look at the progressive pylon cam. So it's 1st and goal. And second effort of the ball. And that scrum down there. Quarterback WIllis is trying to help his running back.
Forget the lineman pushing him back. The quarterback is getting in there trying to throw his back into the end zone. Told you he's got a linebacker mentality for a quarterback.
So the poor snap on the punt, which they cashed in for 3, and then the interception by Floyd, and Tech, after staggering early, Kirk, poised to take the lead.
How about WIllis? He's 1 yard away from taking the lead against the number 6 team in the country.
And again, nothing doing for Peoples. Knocked down by Khalid Kareem, who came careening around the edge.
Yeah, we talk a lot about these Notre Dame defensive line and how good they are as pass rushers, but total package, Khalid Kareem, 53, does a good job of working around the block. Tranquil gets in there as well.
I think they moved backwards in the 2 carries. It's 3rd and goal. And they collide in the backfield. WIllis and Peoples bump into each other, and a loss back to the 5. It is 4th down. Wow, what a sequence.
Yeah, that's another thing where you see a quarterback that hasn't taken a lot of snaps, a miscue between he and Peoples, who's a veteran, a senior. You can pretty much assure the senior went the right way, and you wonder which way the quarterback went, and Virginia Tech right at the 1-yard line has to settle for a field goal.
What a win for the Notre Dame defense, which made 2 stops and then got an assist. Johnson knocks through his 3rd field goal, but the Irish are still on top. Ryan WIllis talked about his energy. He was hot. He was annoyed after that collision with Peoples cost him a chance to score.
Yeah, I want to clean this up. I assumed it was on the quarterback. In fact, it was on the senior Peoples. I just assumed the inexperienced WIllis, maybe down there he just blew a fuse, but in fact Peoples, when he came over, kind of tapped himself on the chest saying my bad. So that's on the senior.
So again, the miscue cash, but only for 3 as Tech leaves 4 points on the field right there. Tony Jones is the back. They fake it to him. Pressure off the edge. And Book, no chance. Just heaves it to the bench. Maybe have a conversation about grounding here. Khalil Ladler is wearing that number 25 jersey tonight, honoring Frank Beamer. Requires the opinions of different officials, and it will be intentional grounding.
There you go.
Intentional grounding. Number 12. Offense. The ball will be placed in the spot of the foul. Loss of down. Second out.
You can see it sailed out of bounds very near the line of scrimmage. Dave Kataya, our rules expert, alongside as always.
He was not out of the tackle box. He took about 3 steps to the right, not out of the tackle box, and there was nobody in the area. That's a good call. Okay. Got help from the line judge on that.
Second down and 20, and Lane Stadium's gotten loud again. Short drop, short completion to Alize Mack, knocked down by Floyd, the interceptor.
If you're a Virginia Tech fan, that's what you want to see from your defensive backs against these taller receivers and tight ends. Very few yards after the reception. He was all over Mack right after he made the play. You see Farley back out of the field trying to fight through that pain that he's had earlier in this game.
Yeah, that ankle heavily wrapped.
Remember, they've been playing a lot of zone on these third downs.
Hokies rush 5. Book has time now. Hit as he throws, hit really hard, and he is helped to his feet. Looks to be in some pain, and the Tech defense has made a stand.
And that was Rashard Ashby, the middle linebacker, 23, kind of spying him, and then it decides to not spy him and lower the hammer. He realized that Book wasn't going anywhere, so he attacks him to force the ball out of his hands. And good to see Ian Book get up from that hit because Ashby hit him hard.
Ooh, thank goodness for those chest pads the quarterbacks wear.
Yeah.
That snap was low again. Newsom gets the punt away, and it's a boomer way back inside the 20. But Carroll has got room. Newsom outkicked the coverage a bit, and a good return sets Tech up near the 40-yard line with 2:17 to play. 58-yard punt, 19 the other way. WIllis, as a passer, has missed 5 in a row. Has to dodge pressure again, running for his life. Loses the football. It's a takeaway for the Irish. And Julian Love is going to score the other way. A scoop and score. Reverses momentum.
Jones is going to get the touchdown, but the man who deserves the credit again, Khalid Kareem. Relentless approach and effort here, just not giving up on the play. Goes down on the ground and still comes up to knock that ball loose for Love to pick up and score the touchdown.
So this Irish defense, which has done a good job keeping Tech out of the end zone, puts 7 points on the board. Yoon boots it through, and it's 17-9.
Chris, he's over here lined up on the right. He comes around, but I want you to watch why this ends up being a play. Again, going up a true freshman, pushes through a double team. He's on the ground. You're thinking he's out of the play, but watch this. Gets up, knocks the ball away, and there's Love. Aware, picks it up, and obviously goes in for the touchdown. But I'd love to see that effort there by Kareem. And there's an example of Ryan WIllis just trying to do too much and not having experience to fall back on.
Julian Love could not have asked for a better bounce. He's a kid who grew up in Chicago, grew up a big Notre Dame fan, living his dream. And Kelly has seen the offense cool off a lot, but the defense finds the end zone.
Notre Dame's got defensive linemen. They've got some athletes up there.
Kareem, an excellent player. They also say he's a model student athlete, just a hard worker. Makes the guys around him better. He's got a nice first down game. We'll see if Fuente plays with any urgency here. They do have the 2 timeouts, but inside of a minute now. And now Hazelton makes a catch, almost broke free, wrestled down near midfield. Clock stops momentarily, 44 seconds to go, and the Hokies hurried. Not going to use the timeout here. Willis from the pocket again delivers another strike, and Hazelton's knocked out at the 40, so suddenly they are threatening.
Yeah, when in doubt, he's looking up his favorite target, Hazelton. Doesn't matter if it's against Troy Pride or Julian Love. He just feels that his bigger receiver can win those one-on-one matchups.
Hazelton headed for a 3rd consecutive 100-yard game, 6 for 73 so far. Still have the 2 timeouts. Pressure up the middle. They pick it up, and Willis delivers to Hazelton again. He's got the catch down in the red zone.
He was waiting and waiting and waiting, and eventually Hazelton broke free.
See if the Irish bring pressure again. Now they just rush 4, and Willis has time and loops it for the end zone. Incomplete. Pride was defending Kuma, and Jalen Elliott, the safety, got there to defend as well. 23 seconds left.
Almost felt that Jalen Elliott was baiting him to throw the ball. Willis really telegraphed that throw, stared him down the whole way, and that's what brought Elliott over. Elliott was as much of a factor in that game, or in that play, as the corner was.
ESPN ref cam giving you a look in the official's hat.
Hazelton, his favorite target at the bottom.
Willis looking to the left again. Long throw, catch made Savoy, and a flag is down where the quarterback was hit.
I think he got hit high.
Well, that'll
look like Okwara.
That'll move it half the distance. The ball's at the 7-yard line.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer with targeting.
Oh.
Number 91.
Yeah.
Defense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Tech, though, threatening again. Good resilience to bounce back after the fumble, scoop, and score. Isn't it? Look.
Well, maybe the follow through is the only thing I guess you can see. Right here's the initial hit.
They said 91. They meant 42.
That's what I'm saying. But 91 hits him after that shot.
Peoples is the back. Hazelton comes in motion, now reverses. And Willis rolls that way and flings it to him. Touchdown! Finally, they find the end zone. Who else but Hazelton? The 2 best buddies hooked up throughout the entire drive, and Tech will not go for 2 in the tie. Johnson on to attempt the PAT. "75 yards, 8 plays, Kurt, less than a minute." Tech, with the late drive, draws within 1. And the energy is back in one of the best environments in college football. And Maria's ready with Justin Fuente now.
All right, Coach, after Notre Dame scoop and score, you pulled your quarterback aside and he led a touchdown drive. What did you say to him?
Just needs to relax. He's trying to make every play ever invented in the history of football. I mean, just calm down, okay? Let's play within the system. If it's not there, throw the ball away, and we'll go play the next play. He wants to make plays so bad, he's pressing a little bit.
Your offense gets the ball back to start the second half. How do you clean up those miscues?
Well, if we would just relax a little bit and execute a little better, I think we'll have a chance to have success. But we have run the ball at times, all right. Just a little bit of execution would help us out a lot.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
Fuente was a quarterback at Oklahoma. Like Willis, he struggled there, transferred away. They have a lot in common and a good bond, I think. Tough love sometimes. End of the first half at Blacksburg. Kevin, Mac, and Jonathan will come along with the halftime report after these messages. Chris Fowler back with Kirk Herbstreit and Maria Taylor. Willis bouncing back from that fumble that was returned for a touchdown by Julian Love with a late touchdown drive. And Kirk, the visiting team has won every week on this cruise package. We'll see if the Irish can keep the trend going. Boy, they started out on fire on offense and then really kind of lost their way in the second quarter.
Well, they've had rhythm for 3 weeks with Ian Book, and it started their first couple drives look much like we've seen. And to me, they got away from what was working. What was working was what we've seen in these last few weeks against Wake and Stanford, and that's getting back and getting the ball out of his hands quickly on early downs. And I thought early in the game they took those shots and had them and had success. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see them go back to that. Look for some of those favorable matchups, but get the ball out of his hands quick and get the Virginia Tech defense on its heels.
Yeah, you saw 7 for his last 15 after the 8 for 8 start and a bunch of short completions. So Tech's offense, after that long march before halftime, will go right back to work. This is Terrius Wheatley, and he fights hard, picks his way across the 25-yard line. Willis looking to throw on first down. It's a hitch. And the catch made. Yeah, he said, try to make every play in the history of football within a half.
And you and I agreed. We even mentioned in the first half that you could kind of see him. He's so excited to be the starter for this team and playing the number 6 team in the country in for Josh Jackson. And he's fired up, man. He's trying to make plays, but he's got to know, again, where to draw the line and where to kind of give up on certain plays if they're not there.
They hand it off. Coming around the corner, busting free is Stephen Peoples. Peoples had that huge run in the first half down to the 1, but they couldn't punch it in Irish territory.
Notre Dame's giving some big creases in that defense, but give Virginia Tech credit for getting up to that second level. Zachariah Hoyt, the center, really good block there on Drew Tranquil, and Peoples again out in open space. Not just a big physical back, has improved his quickness, the senior.
The dude with all that hair, Hoyt, was taken out briefly. They put Chung at center and to calm the big fella down, but he is back in there. Peoples into heavy traffic. Jerry Tillery just bear hugged him. You haven't seen Tillery as a pass rusher. He's the guy that came in with the co-lead in the country, Kirk, with 7 sacks.
He had 4 last week alone against Stanford and has made a name for himself this year. Great length at 6'6", almost 6'7", 305 pounds. You know, they moved him from what they call the shade, kind of the nose guard, to the 3 technique where he's over against a guard. And the coach is telling us the reason the production is up, he's a better fit there for Brian Kelly because they get him involved in more twists and different things, more involved as a pass rusher.
Good protection this time with the ball thrown behind the receiver. Chris Cunningham, the tight end. Tillery's a guy, Kirk, in his senior year who has decided that it's important to him. He's not been known for being the best teammate, to put it frankly, throughout his career, but he has turned it on in his senior season. Contract year for him, maybe.
Yeah. You know, I think he's a very intelligent young man, and I think football has become even more important to him. And he said that, you know, now you'll see him very committed to film study and trying to look for any kind of edge he can get, especially when it comes to rushing a quarterback in these situations.
3rd and 9. Empty backfield. Irish rush 4, and Willis is flushed and flips it short, but the completion well short of the first down.
See,
He's knocked down.
Chris, this is the beauty again of rushing the 4 and not needing to blitz, because it frees up eyes to be able to get on the quarterback and be able to react. See, he's flushed. He's got to get rid of the ball. Tillery and company getting after him. You have 2 or 3 different Notre Dame defenders.
Ooh, the high snap. And Bradburn had to go up and grab it. And he gets off a good punt. And the Hokie punt team does its job. The group that has not allowed a single punt return yard all year. And you see why. Irish will take over at the 5. Not doing much driving lately as the Irish offense since those 10 early points. Stopped on 4th and short, punt, pick, another punt, and then kneel down before half. And now Book and company take over at the 5. Williams smothered, dropped for a loss. Rayshard Ashby there.
Boy, Hewitt makes a great play here. Walker's known to be able to get penetration. Hewitt, and also you'll see the middle linebacker Ashby get involved. Boy, great quickness. Low center of gravity. They say he's a workhorse in the weight room, and just that quickness paid off there.
Williams turns the corner and look out. Dexter Williams in a foot race. Can they run him down? No! 98-yard touchdown. Second time the Hokies get within one, and the Irish produce an electric play to stretch the lead back.
Not only are they within one, they've got Notre Dame pinned deep inside their own territory, and just like that, the second week in a row, Dexter Williams provides a lift to the Notre Dame offense after being suspended the first 4 games of the season.
Talked about that Irish ground game that was in negative yards until that run. It was -5 net rushing yards until Williams took it 97 to the house.
Watch the right guard come around. Kramer does a nice job of picking up a block. Boykin also kind of on a seal block right here on the linebacker. But also, I think what happens here is as Kramer comes around, makes a pick, Farley's free to be able to help out here, but he overruns it, and that's where Williams ends up cutting back, and there's no one left.
You get that defense so hyped up, so aggressive down there at the goal line after the tackle for loss and the mistake.
Yeah, they're almost playing like a short yardage defense. They're all coming after the line of scrimmage, and there's nobody left.
Now, Wheatley brings it down and is knocked down at the 25-yard line. Could have gone the other direction, but he really rededicated himself. That's why the teammates were celebrating so much when he scored on that first touch last week. High snap. Willis collects it and gets it out on the edge there. Grimsley knocked down its first down yardage by Elliott.
Just in case you're just tuning in, something off of Maria's report. Want to see more production, she mentioned, from the defensive line. You know, their best defensive end, Julian Okwara, is out of the game for a targeting play earlier on the quarterback, Ryan WIllis. So he wants to see more production, and one of his best players not out there. They still have very capable defensive linemen.
Willis on the run, delivers a long throw, and Grimsley slides and makes a catch in Notre Dame territory. First down again.
He's doing a good job of mixing up his targets. Also, Fuente doing a nice job of mixing up the launch points instead of keeping him as a sitting target and moving him around, making it tougher on that pass rush.
Where do you rate Willis's arm strength among
big arm
quarterbacks?
This kid has a big arm. We've shown him
top 10. McLeese and Crease. You've seen every quarterback out there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about top 10, but he has a big arm. I mean, I've only seen him play for 2 quarters and a couple snaps here. I've been impressed with. He doesn't have a lot of experience other than when he played at Kansas, and here he's coming up against Notre Dame's defense. It's been pretty good against almost everybody they've played, and he's keeping his poise through a lot of adversity tonight.
Gets it out. Grimsley again on the edge. Spins free briefly. Going to be knocked down by Pride.
But we've seen 2 or 3 times from the far hash mark, he's throwing the ball all the way to the opposite boundary. It is a long throw on a 10 to 15-yard outcut.
Dad was using the example of Jared Goff, and it was a strong arm quarterback at Cal. 1-11 his first year. I mean, just beaten up, bruised, and it worked out pretty well for him in college, and he's getting paid to play. Willis rolls, looks at the sidelines, but skips the ball. Incomplete. So 4th down, and a field goal attempt coming up. Brian Johnson, who's been very solid, not missed one yet this season. Kicked 3 so far tonight. His career long, he's 45. He's booting him for 54 in pregame. This from 48. And it's just outside that upright. The entire football has to be inside the inside edge of the upright extended to be good. And Johnson's attempt just missed. So the Notre Dame lead is still 8. After the missed field goal, Notre Dame takes over up 8. Our Dr. Pepper Championship Drive game of the week. And a very serious hurdle this undefeated Irish team is trying to clear to stay on course to the college football playoff. Look, pump fake, shot downfield and overthrown again. He's done that a few times. That was Boykin. And there is the meltdown in Miami. A bottle was thrown at the bus. It busted a wind out. And that seemed to intimidate or spook the Irish team. And then the turnover chain came out in force.
It was rolling downhill in a hurry. And Miami is one of those nights, 41-8. And Brian Kelly said, I'll take that on me. I didn't get the guys ready to play, and we're going to learn from that.
Play action, and they pitch it far side. And it's a big tight end, Elise Mack.
I will say this. They got the lead right now. And this is a different Virginia Tech team compared to Miami, but they've been much more aggressive tonight, much more confident, much more in command than where they were a year ago. And I think a lot of it has to do with Ian Book, and a lot of it just has to do with this an older team, a more confident team.
But until Williams busted loose on that 97-yard sprint, they were on the ropes a little bit.
Yeah.
Excellent recovery. 3rd and 6. Tony Jones is the back. Book gets a 3-man rush, just delivers. That's another one of those layups you talk about. Easy pitch and catch to Fink.
Man, Fink he looks like a guy that played a lot of backyard football. Watch him just sit in the soft spot in the zone, just settles right between 2 defenders, knows exactly where the first down marker is on 3rd down, and he and Book have a great connection.
Now the Hokies swarm into the backfield and tackle for loss by Ashby against Jones.
Ashby's really become the leader of this defense. They lost so many great leaders to the NFL. He's right in the middle. Nobody picks him up. Eichenberg, no chance.
Inside of 6 minutes in the third, plenty of time, but it feels important for Tech to keep the Irish out of the end zone here. Limit the damage. Book has time from the pocket, a long crossfield throw to Fink again, and Caleb Farley, who's toughing it out with an ankle ailment that Maria talked about, comes up to make the tackle. So 3rd and long again, Kirk.
And Tech gets him to 3rd down. This is see where Ian Book finds the matchup. On the last 3rd down, it was Fink just kind of settling in there between the soft spot in that zone. See if Bud Foster plays man or goes zone again.
2-by-2 look. They rush 4. Book flushed, tries to correct and flips it wide open. Boykin running down the sidelines will score. The improvisational skills of Ian Book produces a big touchdown.
Well, there's the threat of the quarterback run and what it can do. You'll see these guys in coverage, see them break away. They start to chase Ian Book. It's a busted coverage, and Boykin has enough speed to get it into the end zone. But the threat again on 3rd down of Ian Book, showing that he's going to take off, improvising, keeping a play alive. Defenders let go of Boykin, and he finds him, kind of baits them until he makes the throw.
And the speedy Farley on the bad ankle could not recover and chase down Boykin. Yet both Hokie defenders bit and played the quarterback and forgot about the senior receiver who makes his 2nd touchdown catch of the season. And Notre Dame, a couple of 3rd quarter touchdowns, builds the lead to 15. So big plays by an Irish offense that was stagnant in the 2nd quarter and built a 15-point lead. Here's Wheatley. He slips a couple tackles, earns some yards to the 28. Kirkus. And they rush 5. Willis is going to look the other side. A downfield play, and it's caught. Eric Kuma used that big physical body to box out Pride, and the Hokies are in Irish territory.
Troy Pride never found the ball. Kuma does. He does a good job. The ball is way in the air, underthrown a bit, where a lot of times you'll see pass interference. But instead, he does a good job of working back to the ball. You see Pride look, and Brian Kelly has a pretty good viewpoint of it. But by the time he realized the ball was thrown, Kuma had already adjusted back and made the catch.
And they hand it off and busting free. McLeese, good run inside the 40.
About that opened up. We do keep talking about the linebackers in the middle and what a good job they're doing tonight. That time Virginia Tech got up to them, and Coney actually came on a blitz. Was picked up nicely that time by Hoyt.
McLeese and Peoples getting a little something going on the ground after being smothered by Duke's defense a week ago. But Notre Dame in charge in the third quarter. Up 15, headed to the final 15. Back to Blacksburg after this message and a word from your local ABC station. Irish up by 15. Hokies trying to cut into that and move the ball to the Notre Dame 38-yard line. Both teams, by the way, have been outscored in the fourth quarter so far this season. WIllis, could be a double pass. Kuma caught it behind the line and took a look downfield, then decides to just run for a couple.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Chris. He was taking a peek. He had a blocker in front of him. The tight end, Dalton Keene, he looks like he wanted to throw it.
Remember, Kirk, since that game in Philly we called 3 years ago, best known for the Halloween Fright Night, Notre Dame has not had a win against ranked teams on the road. They're 8-12 in the last 20 true road games. So this is really trying to break a trend. It's not just that meltdown in Miami we've talked a lot about. It's the failures against quality teams away from home.
Yeah, but I think that's also what Brian Kelly's trying to get this program to grow. I think it's to become a complete program. It takes being able to learn how to win away from the friendly confines. South Bend is a great home field advantage, but you got to be able to take that passion and that energy when you go on the road and play better teams.
Saw the win over OU in 12. They're trying to start 6-0 for the first time since that team that played Alabama in the national title game. And it's out of bounds. Love, who had the scoop and score, caught it but could not come down in the field of play.
The ball is thrown out of bounds, but a lot of that has to do with Julian Love pushing the receiver actually into that boundary. Didn't give him a chance, took that cushion away and forced him out of bounds. He is a physical, quick, very dominant cover corner.
I think maybe they were caught off guard. This to cut it to 12, and it's a really long kick. But he's got a really good leg. I mean, he just hammers that, but misses it wide. I mean, the range is awesome for this guy, but he's missed the last two long ones, so the lead is still 15. Confirmation from the officials' hat cam. He's missed two. Just by narrow margin
out of it a little bit there.
But now the Irish go back to work after that exceptional third quarter. This is a run all the way. Book just rolls right for 3 yards.
Ian Book tonight, 21 of 31, 228 yards, a touchdown, the one interception. Got off to a quick start. And the second half, because of the nice run by Dexter Williams, Notre Dame's offense has kind of settled back in.
And 2nd and 7, Book looks to the left. Boykin makes the catch, and you move into Tech territory. One of the loudest leaders on this Tech defense, Maria, has really had a rough week emotionally. Alshon Gaines.
Yeah, you're right. Gaines lost his mother on Monday, and he actually told his team that he wanted to come back and play with them. Coaches left the decision completely up to him, so he returned to practice on Wednesdays, and he's basically been the leader down here still on the sidelines, guys. I mean, he's the one amping up the entire defense, talking to him. He has his mother's initials underneath his eye black. It's Tardra Hilliard, and you can see this outstanding showing of support from Notre Dame. A candle was lit in his mother's honor at the Grotto, so you can see that both of these sidelines honoring the passing, the life of Tardra Hilliard today.
Absolutely wonderful that a Notre Dame fan did that, and you can see he thanked them very much via tweet. Book lofts it downfield for Boykin, who makes a catch. First and goal. He beat Quillen. A big 6'4" body out of Pennsylvania.
Now, why overthink it? He's 6'4". You're going to kind of throw that fade up high, back shoulder, let Boykin adjust back to the ball. And most college corners struggle to find that underthrown ball and locate the football to make a play on it, while Boykin eyes it the whole way.
And first and goal. Book rolling. Had a man open, didn't see him. Ladler eventually makes the tackle.
And Dexter Williams was just kind of floating.
Wide open.
Yeah, just after the fake, he just was kind of following his fake, looking around like, nobody's on me if you want to throw it to me.
He wasn't considered in the pattern, so Book wasn't looking for number 2,
No.
but it's surprising he didn't see him.
I think that looked like, really honestly, like a quarterback keep the whole way.
Williams cuts it back and tackled inside the 5-yard line by Ashby. 3rd and goal coming up.
Williams had maybe the play of the night when Virginia Tech was getting back into the game and had the crowd back into the game. Notre Dame pinned back inside their own 5. He went 97 yards. Changed the complexion of the game completely.
They fake it to him. Slant, touchdown, pitch and catch. Boykin continues a monster night. 2 touchdowns, 8 catches.
But the play fake gets the linebackers to suck in, and then he's able to make that throw, as you say. That's easy. That's about as easy as it can be for a quarterback throwing to one of his favorite targets, and big target at that with a huge catch radius. He got to the inside of Kean, and Kean didn't have a chance to make a play.
And that Williams run you just talked about, really the deflator for this Tech defense. They were in it down 1 at the break, and Notre Dame now 3 touchdowns. That's a 11-play, 64-yard drive, 21-zip Irish after the break. I think they have to lose 2 not to make it, let's be honest. Right? Wheatley from the end zone trying to spark this Hokie team with a big special teams play. Had a crease, hard running. Oh, that was a fastball that Savoy couldn't handle, just over Coney's hands too.
How did Coney miss that one? Instinctive player. Worked so hard on his coverage skills, maybe not ready for this fastball. It looked like it went right through his hands. Solid middle linebacker along with Tranquil.
Hazelton just kind of runs into Tranquil, who had come back to defend the perimeter.
You mentioned Notre Dame's schedule, you know, what they have left if they're able to hold on and win this game tonight, which looks pretty good. Where they go and who they still have to play. And we talked all week about the possibility of this being just a different year, a different feel with Notre Dame. And they haven't hurt themselves in any way tonight, obviously.
Hazelton comes back to make the catch, and the Hokies convert on 3rd down again. Only have 2 more home games. They have Pittsburgh next week. Then they have a much-needed bye week. Navy will be played in San Diego. At Northwestern, Wildcats are dangerous.
We got a great quarterback there. And Florida State looks like they're starting to show some life, athletically anyway. But that is in South Bend, which would be tough on Florida State.
They play Syracuse in the cold in Yankee Stadium in November, and then go to LA.
I think the 2 toughest games they have left are their last 2. Syracuse can score points. They're not an easy team to defend. USC, always going to be athletic. Their young freshman quarterback will be getting better by the end of the year. Plus, there'll be so much pressure if they're still unbeaten, sitting there at 11-0.
Absolutely. Can you imagine SC, which has not had the kind of year they hope to,
and
a chance to spoil Notre Dame's playoff
comes
hopes
to the LA Coliseum, and they're 60 minutes away from securing a bid in the playoff, and they got to get through the Trojans, who have nothing to lose and are trying to salvage their season maybe by trying to beat a team like Notre Dame, who's unbeaten.
A long way to go, but do you think Notre Dame has to be sitting there unbeaten without, of course, the conference championship game, that data point the committee talks about?
Because, I mean, if you look at the top 6 teams, it's hard to imagine teams coming from outside of the top 6.
Incomplete on the slant there.
As we sit here right now.
Yeah.
But Notre Dame's, Brian Kelly, because of the big wins early in the year, they positioned himself to have a legitimate shot to run the table. And if they run the table, they're sitting there at 12-0, they're going to be in the playoff.
And the resume would include, of course, that opening win over Michigan, winning home against Stanford, and now this top 25 road win It's 4th and 3. Hokies need this, and they flip it short to Peoples, who gets a first down and runs hard down inside the 20. So 3 touchdowns short. Going to need a 2-point conversion somewhere in there.
Yep, playing man coverage, and nobody picks Peoples up out of the backfield. Looked like maybe Drew Tranquil got caught up there with his eyes in the backfield. Peoples gets out into the flat. Nobody picks him up, and Virginia Tech still fighting.
They are, but every second counts here. They got to be quick and efficient, try to get this in the end zone without wasting any more time. And that one is almost picked off in the end zone. Jalen Elliott got a hand on it. Gilman was also there.
Elliott playing with so much more confidence this year. Last year just a little bit timid, still kind of feeling his way, transitioning from receiver to safety. And man, that would have been a heck of a play. Gilman came over. Ref cam here, give you a good look at not only does Elliott have a chance, Gilman also almost comes up with that interception.
Boy, Elliott, nice performance tonight in front of those 26 friends and families from about 3 hours away in Richmond. And the delayed handoff here, Peoples knocked down for a short gain. You come back and you play in your home state after leaving to go to Notre Dame, and the first time in your life, and everybody you know is here, and he has shown up. Talked about both his parents being Hokie graduates. His dad played here. High school quarterback, good athlete. 3rd and 8. WIllis, another looping throw for the end zone. Jump ball, touchdown. Eric Kuma, and you're right, Kirk, the Hokies still are fighting here.
What a throw here. Dante Vaughn, who has good size, is matched up against Kuma. So it's a great matchup, but the ball is thrown actually further along back into that corner than I thought it might be. You could see that Vaughn does a good job of trying to get his hands up, fully extended, but ball just gets over the top of it, and Kuma's able to focus in and come up with that big play.
Here's Johnson to cut it to 15. Figured to see an onside kick coming up. Tech still hanging around. Life for now. And interesting formation here as they spread the Irish all over the place. It's Johnson who tries for the short hop at Claypool. It's a fine special teams player on that hands team. Goes down and fields it. So 5:38 as the Irish try to chew on the clock with this 15-point lead. Shift the 2 tight ends to the left. Williams is the bat. He's got it. And he cuts back. And Dexter Williams. The electric 97-yard run really changed this game around in the 3rd quarter. Almost got loose again. 15 schools, all on one network. A new place to call home, the ACC Network, coming next August.
Now, Dexter Williams came back last week. Had 161 yards, 7.5 yards a carry. Tonight, because of that big run, 147 yards and 9 yards a carry.
Yeah, that big touchdown certainly skewed the average, but
yeah, he's been good, man. He's a great compliment to what they're doing with Book in the passing game.
Absolutely. Williams breaks free again. 2nd touchdown tonight as he high steps in.
See, the thing is he's physical. It's not just about being quick in space. He can run through some tackles, and he's fresh. They do a good job with him. Just doesn't give up. He's a guy that's running with desperation. He has earned his way back to the good graces of these coaches and his teammates, and that's why so many of these guys are so excited for him after what he's been through, being suspended and working his way back.
That's a great point. You used 2 words. He's fresh, because he hadn't played the first 4 games, and he is really hungry to make the most of every carry that he's got left this season. Yep. 31-yard touchdown run. He's up to 178, and the all-time scorer in Notre Dame history. Now Yoon adds another point and extends the record. Well, the guy on the right there, the Montana jersey, he's going to have to console his buddy on the left there.
Yeah,
Tech fan, little glum.
Left was feeling pretty good, there for a while.
Notre Dame has scored 4 touchdowns after halftime. This is a strong statement. This isn't just a surviving on the road in a tough environment against a ranked team. This is a statement. You have to look at this into the year when you evaluate Notre Dame. This is a strong performance after halftime tonight.
They took Virginia Tech's best shot. They went to Lane Stadium. It could be a tough atmosphere.
They cleaned up a lot of mistakes they made in the first half.
Sure did.
And now they're going to have Justin Yoon, not the regular kickoff guy, booted off, and he's so pumped up being the record holder that he drives it deep in the end zone.
So everybody's got hurdles to overcome.
Backup quarterback Herndon Hooker, the redshirt freshman out of Greensboro, in the game, and Jalen Holston has had a couple of touches here late for the Hokies. Final minute and a half, and Cassidy Hubbard will be awaiting in the studio the Ford wrap-up show to give you the scores and the highlights. The three unbeaten teams that fell today. Colorado carrying the flag for the Pac-12 as the unbeaten team. I'm curious to see if you're going to put the Buffs in your top 4. If you're ready to make
not quite ready for that. Not quite.
Getting closer.
I picked them this morning, so I'm happy to see your Buffs. I always think about you when I do make the pick, because I know how you had a chance to actually be out there.
I'm not saying that my talk to them this week had anything to do with the win. Maybe a little bit. Not much.
You went and visited with the boys, right?
I did. I was out there at a journalism alum seminar along with Jay Rothman, the producer of Monday Night Football, fellow Buff, Jim Gray. There's a few of us flying around out here.
That's great. Beautiful area, right?
Always.
Can't beat it. You ever go fly fishing out there?
Yeah, I choose other outdoor activities.
Oh, yeah.
We can get a rod for you if you want to come out.
You're a hiker.
Well, Notre Dame, all that offseason training we talked about at the beginning of the show, they handled the chaos well, executed well, especially after halftime. This is a very satisfying road win for Brian Kelly.
Huge win. Second half really just dominated, 28-7, pulled away. Had some big plays, especially from Dexter Williams with the big 97-yard run. Got to be satisfied. Remember, we talked about all the work that they put in to be able to handle a hostile environment. Visited with the Navy SEALs, all the work that they put in clearly pays off for them.
Williams, when they were backed up at the 3-yard line, nursing a 1-point lead, he made the biggest play of the game, that 97-yard run. Let's hear from the satisfied Coach Kelly. He's with Maria.
All right, Coach. Well, it was a 1-point game at halftime. What changed in the second half for this offense in order to put all those Jets on?
We were more efficient, obviously. We're a little sloppy at times in the first half, and we just said, listen, stop going outside of what you can do. We were trying to do too many things, and we just got back to doing what we're good at, and I think we settled down a lot better. We ran the ball. We had the big run, obviously, off the goal line, which got us a lot of momentum, and a couple of big turnovers.
Now, you've been training for chaos. You wanted to see how your team would handle the challenge. How would you rate their performance?
I thought they handled the environment quite well. I don't think that was the issue at all in the first half. We got off to a great start. And again, when you make plays, you quiet the crowd down, and I thought we did a great job with that.
This was the first major challenge for Ian Book on the road coming into this environment. What did you see from your quarterback?
He did a nice job. He led our offense. We put 45 points on the board, and we can play better. But it's good to get him on the road, get this first kind of test, if you will, because we're going to have to play 4 on the road in November, and that will be another test for him.
When's the next time you listen to Inner Sandman?
I'm going to put that away for a long time. I love the fact that it's college football and it's great, but I'm done for a month or so. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Whoa. We enjoyed it tonight. Our entire crew, great job. Bill Bonnell, the producer. Derek Mobley, the director, including that wonderful opening sequence. Utah and Stanford in action on ESPN, then SportsCenter. And next week, we'll come to you from the Big House, Wisconsin and Michigan. The Ford Wrap-Up Show right now to Cassidy Hubbard.